from the Astrodome in Houston, we bid you welcome to Reds baseball. The Reds and the Astros beginning a big three-game weekend series here tonight as Cincinnati begins a string of the first of what will be 7 games between these two clubs in the next 10 days. 3 over the weekend here in Houston and 4 beginning a week from tonight at Riverfront Stadium. The Reds start this series in 3rd place, 5.5 back of Bill Burden's ball club. And they'll be going with the best they have to offer tonight. Right-hander Frank Pastore shooting for his 10th win of the year against right-hander Joe Niekro. We'll be back to take a look at the starting lineups in just a moment. If you're ready now, the starting lineups tonight. First for the Cincinnati Reds, leading off and playing center field will be Dave Collins. Batting second at second base, Junior Kennedy. Ken Griffey will play right field and bat third. Hitting fourth at first base, Dan Dreesen. Hitting number 5, the third baseman, Ray Knight. Batting sixth in left field, George Foster. Johnny Bench will catch in bat number 7. Hitting 8th at shortstop, Dave Concepcion. And batting ninth, the Reds pitcher, right-hander Frank Pastore. Again for Cincinnati, it's Collins in center field, Kennedy at second base, and Griffey in right field. Dreesen at first base, Knight at third base, Foster in left field. With Bench catching, Concepcion at shortstop, and Pastore on the mound. For the Astros, their leadoff batter will be right fielder Terry Poole. Batting second, first baseman Denny Walling. Joe Morgan will play second base and hit third. The cleanup batter for the Astros in left field, Jose Cruz. Batting fifth in center field, Cesar Cedeno. Batting number 6 at third base, Enos Cabell. Alan Ashby will catch in bat number 7. Hitting 8th at shortstop, Craig Reynolds. And batting ninth and pitching, right-hander Joe Niekro. Once more for Houston, it's Poole in right field, Walling at first base, and Morgan at second base. Cruz in left field, Cedeno in center field, Cabell at third base. With Ashby catching, Reynolds at short, and Niekro on the mound. Dave Collins leading it off, batting .284 with a couple of home runs and 18 runs batted in. Niekro looking into Alan Ashby. The right-hander winds and delivers. Collins takes a fastball high for ball 1, and this game is underway. Collins, Kennedy, and Griffey in the visitors' half of the first inning. Niekro, as he always does, hands on knees for the sign to pitch. Collins checks his swing. It's inside. The count goes to 2-0. Well, I'm sure one of the main orders of business as far as the Astros are concerned is to keep this man off the base paths. He has stolen 20 consecutive bases. The pitch, and that's down and in ball 3. So Dave Collins, 1 pitch away from getting on to begin it. One way to keep this crowd from becoming intimidating is to get the lead early and keep it. And there is strike 1 call. Got the inside edge of the belt. And Dave Collins from Joe Niekro, the count is 3 balls and a strike. Outfield playing Dave straight away as he waves the bat around and now waits. He grounds one by the mound, but to the shortstop Reynolds. He throws on to Walling, 1 away. So after Joe Niekro got behind 3-0, a call strike, and then a pitch that Dave grounds to shortstop on. That'll bring up, with 1 out, second baseman Junior Kennedy as we check the Astros defensively for you. Walling at first, Morgan at second, Reynolds at shortstop, Cabell at third. The outfield has Cruz in left, Cedeno in center, and Poole in right, and Ashby catching. Pitches down and away, a knuckleball to Junior Kennedy, who starts this series with a .296 batting average. Kennedy with a home run and 26 RBIs. 1-0 to the plate, swung on and fouled back. Astros have played just super baseball here in the Dome. They've won 24 and lost only 10. The Reds beat them in a series 2 out of 3. The Dodgers beat them in a series, and one just completed 2 nights ago, 2 out of 3. And earlier the Phillies did the same thing, but there are not too many clubs who come in here and take more than they lose in a series. Swung on, line drive, left field, Cruz coming in. He'll have to play it on the bounce, a single to left field for Junior Kennedy. So Kennedy, who had but 1 base hit and 23 times up against Houston pitching this season, lines a single to left field, bringing to the plate, quite possibly now, the hottest hitter in the National League and right fielder Ken Griffey. Kenny batting .318, and that's good enough for 4th place in the National League. 7 home runs and 38 runs batted in. And Kenny with a 6-game hitting streak in which he has batted at a .542 pace. He takes the first pitch with a strike as he looks it over from Joe Niekro. During the 6-game hitting streak, he's knocked in 11 and scored 6, had 3 hits, and 4 RBIs Wednesday night, including a 2-run home run. He swings and grounds it foul. That'll go to the Houston dugout. And Niekro quickly out ahead, 2 strikes on Griffey. Bruce Fremming, our plate umpire. John Kibler at first, Lanny Harris at second, and Terry Tate at third. So a good umpiring quartet to call this series. Kennedy leading at first base. Griffey takes a knuckler inside, and it's a ball, 2 strikes to him. Danny Dreesen on deck. The Reds batting in the first inning. Collins grounds to shortstop. Kennedy singles to left. Niekro back to Griffey. Kenny strikes out swinging. So with 2 down, here's cleanup batter Dan Dreesen. Danny hitting .276 with 8 home runs, and he's driven in 36. After those 2 big games back-to-back against Atlanta, in which the Reds had 34 hits, 16 the first night, 18 the next night, the team batting average now stands at .260, and that's the highest it has been in quite a while. Niekro drives Kennedy back with a throw to first. Dreesen waving it around. Here's a pitch. Knuckleball low and inside for ball 1. Reds, of course, played the exhibition game and were treated rudely by their AAA club, Indianapolis, losing 8-5 at Busch Stadium last night. Another throw to first. Had quite a crowd. 11,441, and they were treated to a 5-home run performance combined by the 2 clubs. Pitch misses to Dreesen. 2 balls and no strikes. Ray Knight had 2 home runs. He's on deck right now. Joe Nolan had 1. Dave Van Gorder and Don Lyle hit the big one, a 3-run pinch hit home run, and the 6-run 8th to allow the Indians to come from behind. Dreesen swings, sends a fly ball to center. Cedeno coming hard, and the ball gets off his glove. Here comes Kennedy being waved around third as Cruz bobbles the ball, and Kennedy will score to give the Reds a 1-0 lead. Cedeno tried a skidding act down in center field, going down on one knee and trying to catch the ball off Dreesen's bat. It eluded him and dropped behind him. Cruz came over from left field, picked the ball up, dropped it, and Russ Nixon waving Kennedy around all the way as he scores easily to give the Reds a 1-0 lead. Dreesen goes to second, and now they mull it over down to our right in the press box to try and determine whether or not they should credit a base hit to Dreesen or an error on Cedeno or whatever. We'll have to wait and see. Be that as it may, a run is in. And the inning continues for third baseman Ray Knight. 5 runs batted in on Wednesday night, including his 2nd grand slam of the year. Hitting now at .286 with a club-high 44 RBIs and 8 home runs. They've still not rendered a scoring decision. Here's a swing and a foul at the plate. That was a broken bat fly ball into relatively shallow center. Cedeno was playing deep for Dreesen. He had to go a long way for the ball, and now it's going to be interesting to see how they score that one. So run is in, and a base hit of any distance at all will get Dreesen in from second base. Pitch swung on, fly ball center field. Cedeno coming hard for this one. He's got time, and no, the ball got by him again. Dreesen scores. Ray Knight will hold at first base, and Cedeno 2 near misses here in the first inning, and the Reds get their 2nd run home. Again, he went down on one knee to try and catch it, and again, the ball eluded leather. Knight taking a full cut and hitting one high in the air into shallow center. Cedeno came running in hard, went to his left knee, and could not come up with a baseball. So while we've not gotten a scoring decision on the first ball that Dreesen hit, we now await for 2 scoring decisions as Cincinnati leads at 2-0. The batter will be George Foster. Now they rule them all base hits. It'll be a double for Dreesen and a run batted in, a single for Knight, and an RBI. Here's a pitch to Foster, and he takes a breaking pitch low and away, ball 1. Oh, he takes it a strike. Checking the pitch. Inside and low, 1 ball and 1 strike. So give Dreesen a double and a run batted in. Credit Knight with an RBI and a single. All coming after the first two are out on the inning. Foster takes one that gets away from Alan Ashby, and Ray Knight will go to second base. So Foster has a chance with a hit to make it 3-0 Cincinnati. That'll be a wild pitch charged to Joe Niekro. Foster with a count of 2-1. Knight now at second. 2 runs in. Reds have had 3 base hits off Niekro. The stretch and the pitch. Foster takes it up high. 3 balls and 1 strike. George hitting .226 with 8 home runs and 30 runs batted in. First game in the 3-game series back in April. Foster went 5 for 5 in the opening game. And he's on now with a walk as Niekro misses high with a 3-1 pitch, and that'll bring up Johnny Bench with 2 men on and 2 men out. Johnny batting .254, leads the club in home runs with 10 and has knocked in 25. And right now Joe Morgan comes in from second base to have a word and maybe give a lift to Joe Niekro. Joe asked us to send along greetings to his parents in Columbus, or in Lansing, Ohio, and his sister Phyllis in Columbus, Ohio. Let all the folks know back there that all is well with Joe and his family. Knight at second, Foster at first. Johnny Bench swings and misses. Niekro checks him, delivers. Bench swings, line drive, base hit into left field. Here comes Ray Knight waving around third. Here comes the throw from Cruz, and Knight is going to be in there. The ball gets away from Ashby. A good throw from left fielder Jose Cruz and right on the money. And Ray Knight's slide into Alan Ashby jarred the ball loose. The Reds now lead at 3-0 as Bench lines a base hit to left. Foster goes to second. Mel Wright, the Astros pitching coach, comes out for a meeting with Ashby and Niekro. Good throw from Cruz in left field. He charged that ball, and Knight sliding right into the tag apparently jarred the ball loose. Niekro was backing up on the play. So Cincinnati getting off to an excellent start here in the first inning with 3 runs home. The single by Bench, base hit number 4 in the inning. And boy, you talk about how this game is indeed one of inches. Had Cedeno been able to catch either the ball that Dreesen hit, the Astros would have been out of the inning without any run scoring, or had he been able to catch the one that might hit, they would have been on the bench trailing only 1-0. As it is, it's now 3-0, and the 8th man to hit in the frame, Dave Concepcion, is waiting. Niekro pitches. Davey takes a knuckleball. Down and away, ball 1. Concepcion, like Foster in the 2 games against Atlanta, shown signs of coming around. Davey is now hitting at .232 with 3 home runs and 27 RBIs. Had the game-winning hit on Tuesday night, a home run. That pitch is over the plate but below the knees, and Niekro is behind at 2-0. Nobody throwing in the Houston bullpen. There have been many, many games throughout Joe Niekro's career where he's had a slow start only to build momentum and gain effectiveness as the game has progressed. And that pitch is over and away from Concepcion for a call strike, 2-1. Foster leading at second base, Johnny Bench at first. Concepcion fouls it off the right field line. That'll be out of play. Count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Oh, while the Reds have won 3 of their last 4, Houston has lost 3 of their last 4. And as we mentioned, the Dodgers beat them 2 out of 3 in the series that came to a close on Wednesday night here. 2 on, 2 out, 3 runs in. Niekro with a 2-2 pitch. Ground ball up the middle. That's going to be played by Reynolds behind second. Throwing and not in time. An infield base hit for Dave Concepcion. Foster to third, Bench to second. The bases are loaded. Davey really running hard down the line as Reynolds went behind second to make the pickup. And Concepcion beating the ball into the mid of Denny Walling by no more than a half a step. Here's Frank Pastore. Oh, with 3 runs in, Frank could really help himself there if he could play the role of hitter. He's 4 for 33, has driven in 2 runs. He grounds one up the middle off the hand of Niekro. He runs to pick it up, slips down, throws, not in time, and Foster scored. An infield single for Frank Pastore on a ball that Niekro deflected behind the mound. He went back to pick it up and then slipped on the AstroTurf, threw a bouncer that pulled Walling off the bag. And Foster is home with the 4th run of the inning as left-hander Randy Neiman has now started to throw in the Astros bullpen. So Dave Collins will be up for the 2nd time in the inning as a Houston trainer comes out to make sure Joe is all right. RBI infield hit for Pastore. Collins started the inning with a ground out to shortstop. And lefty Neiman has gotten the Houston bullpen active as the Reds have now scored 4 times in the first. Bases are loaded. Niekro from the stretch and the pitch to Collins. Swung on and fouled back. There have been 6 base hits and a walk. Collins grounded to shortstop. Griffey struck out. They were sandwiched outside of a Kennedy single. And Andreessen doubled. Kennedy, or Knight single. Foster walked. Bench got a base hit. Concepcion an infield single. And Pastore an infield hit. Pitch misses as it bounces off the glove of Ashby. 1-1. Niekro checking bench at third. Collins hit lines a soft one right back to the mound, and Niekro hangs on to it. So that's it for Cincinnati, but what a start. 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and 3 men left on. After a half inning of baseball in the Dome, it's the Reds 4, and the Astros are coming to bat. Zambito with a 2-0 record in 24 relief appearances. He has saved 8 games and shows a .261 earned run average. He'll be facing Junior Kennedy, Ken Griffey, and Danny Dreesen here in the 9th inning, and Rafael Landestoy remains in the game to play second base. Kennedy 1 for 4. Robbed in the 6th inning on a fine play by Craig Reynolds. Zambito checks in with Ashby, and the left-hander winds, kicks, and throws, and Kennedy takes the ball high. Frank LaCorte throwing in the Houston bullpen. He's a right-hander. Swung on and fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zambito wants a new baseball. Well, it looked like he did. He gestured toward the plate and Bruce Fremming, but apparently decides to keep it after all. Kennedy fouls it back. A ball, 2 strikes. Zambito having another super year as he did last year. 30 2/3 innings he's worked, giving up but 25 hits. Has 25 strikeouts, has walked 8. And a big important number, he's allowed only 1 home run all year. Kennedy grounds it slowly towards second. Landestoy has it and throws him out. 1 out. That'll bring up Ken Griffey, who's 0 for 4, has 2 strikeouts, a ground ball to second, a line drive to first. Left-hander against left-handed batter, and the pitch to the plate is a strike. Zambito gets a right-handed hitter, Kennedy, on a ground out, and now has to face two straight left-handers, and there's strike two call. This crowd of 37,500 and change roaring at every pitch right now. Zambito with a two-strike pitch to Griffey, blowing outside for a ball. Reds have out-hit them 13-8, but trail 5-4. And since the first, the Reds have had their share of opportunities to tack more than 4 runs on the board, but they simply were not able to do it. Griffey strikes out swinging. 2 out now for Danny Dreesen. Danny is double and single and grounded out twice. He has driven in a run and scored one time. Zambito 1 out away from getting his 9th save and moving the Astros 6.5 in front of the Reds. Ball to him. One-0 pitch. Strike call. Count even on Dreesen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Danny hitting .281. Ray Knight on deck. Zambito with a motion. The pitch. Swung on a ground ball to first. There's Walling. He goes to the bag, and that's a game. Joe Zambito comes on to do his thing as he retires the Reds in order, and Houston comes from behind to beat the Reds 5-4. We'll be back in a moment. Well, the night started off extremely well for John McNamara's ball club, who came into the series in 3rd place and 5.5 back of Houston. They jumped on Joe Niekro for 4 runs in the first inning and sending 10 batters to the plate. With 1 out, Junior Kennedy got it started with a base hit to left field. Ken Griffey then struck out, but Danny Dreesen had a fly ball to shallow center. And Cesar Cedeno came in with his skidding act to try and catch the ball. It eluded him for a run-scoring double, and a run with Kennedy crossing gave the Reds a 1-0 lead. Ray Knight had a ball more straight away to center, but pretty much a replay of the ball that Dreesen previously hit. Again, Cedeno went skidding on one knee, and again he came up with nothing. Knight got an RBI single and made it 2-0. Ray later moved to second on a Niekro wild pitch. George Foster got a walk. Johnny Bench had a base hit to left field, making it 3-0. And after Concepcion reached on an infield single to load him up, Pastore brought home the 4th run of the inning with a base hit off the glove of Niekro before Collins lined to the mound to end the frame. The Astros came back with 2 themselves in the bottom of the first. An infield hit by Poole, a base hit to right by Walling. A sacrifice fly by Morgan got the first run in. And after Cruz single, Cedeno grounded to third base. The Reds were unable to get the double play, and Walling came on to make it 4-2. It remained that way despite numerous opportunities for Cincinnati. Case in point, a leadoff double to left by Foster in the 3rd inning, but Bench, Concepcion, and Pastore all grounded to shortstop. In the 5th inning, what turned out to be a mighty big play on the night. Ray Knight with 1 out had a base hit to left center, tried to get 2 out of it, and Jose Cruz and Craig Reynolds hooked up to easily nail Knight at second base. And after that, they were base hits by Foster and Bench, but Concepcion struck out to end the inning. The Reds in the 6th inning with 1 out got a single by Dave Collins, who stole second, but he stayed there, advanced to third base when Kennedy grounded up the middle. A great play by Craig Reynolds to save a run. And then with Collins at third and 2 down, Griffey struck out to end that inning. That turned out to be the final real threat that the Reds were to pose on the night, but Houston came pecking away. They got a run in the 7th inning to make it a 4-3 game. A single by Cruz, a base hit by Cedeno, a sacrifice by Cabell, and a sacrifice fly by Ashby. And then in the 8th inning, they won it as Landestoy led off with a pinch double to right center field. Terry Poole flied to center, but Denny Walling got a base on balls. The only walk that Frank Pastore gave up all night long, and that walk proved to be the run that was to beat him. Tommy Hume came on. He got Morgan to pop up in shallow center to Concepcion, but then Cruz tied into one, shooting one to deep center over the head of Cesar Geronimo. Both runners scored. Cruz ended up at third base. Houston was out in front 5-3. And Zambito came on in the ninth inning to get Kennedy on a ground out to second. Griffey, he struck out swinging, and Dreesen on a ground ball to first. Houston had 5 runs, 8 hits, no errors, and only 3 left. The Reds had 4 runs, 13 hits, no errors, and 9 stranded. Niekro wins it. He's now 8-6. Zambito a save his ninth. And the loser, Pastore, his second loss in as many starts against Houston this season, and his record is 9-4. Second game coming up tomorrow night, 8:35. We'll get her underway here in the Dome. As Joe Price makes a start for Cincinnati, he has no record. J.R. Richard will go for Houston. He's won 9 and lost 3. We'll be along with the pregame shows on most of these same stations beginning at 8:05 Cincinnati time. Again, the final score tonight in a game that took 2 hours and 31 minutes to play before a crowd of 37,532. The Astros 5 and the Reds 4.